What's up, Facebook fam? Social media. Thank you. I want to start off by thanking. I got so many texts and phone calls and posts here on social media. And I just wanted to take a few minutes out of today, November 4th, 2024, to thank all of you for the birthday wishes. Honestly, I can't believe that I'm 50 years old. I don't feel 50. Um, Quite honestly, I didn't think I would make it to 50. As a young lad, I thought 50 was just like way old. But here we are, 74 to 24. And man, I'm just so filled with so much gratitude and looking back and all the memories and all the great experiences. And many of you that have wished me a happy birthday um, played a big role in so many of the conversations and the memories that I've had over the years. So I wanted to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the well wishes. And I thought I'd come on here for a few minutes and share three major life lessons that I've had over the last 50 years in hopes that maybe it can bring some inspiration, some hope, and maybe some possibilities for you. So if you're tuning in, it is November 4th, right around 2:50 p.m. here in America. If you are tuning in, would love to say hello. Feel free to put in the comment your name and maybe how we know each other. I have a lot of friends and contacts from the old high school days all the way to the college days. What's up, Hoover High School? The Tornadoes, and also college, Cal Lutheran, the Kingsmen. So many great memories and friends from the college days out there in Thousand Oaks, California, and I know I also have quite a few police officer friends from my years working with the LAPD and doing police work there, as well as my Aussie friends. Can't forget about my Aussie friends. Lived out there for a few years and had so many cherished moments back in the day. So Aussie, 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 oi, 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 out there in Echuca and Bendigo and Melbourne, and so many friends across the beautiful country, as well as so many business partners that I've had over the years from different businesses and travels that we've done from around the world. And so thank you again for all the beautiful well wishes, and would love to just say one big thank you instead of commenting and responding to the hundreds that came in on Facebook. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I see my Australian mother there, Paula. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And 53 years married. Congratulations to you and Peter. You guys are a true inspiration of what a covenant relationship is like. You guys have been married longer than I have been alive. So thank you for the inspiration and being such amazing, amazing human beings. So what I'd like to do is share three life lessons, turning 50, three life lessons as I look back and I think about some of the things that has helped me to go through life and be where I am today. A few life lessons that I wanted to share. And the first one is letting go of the past and learning how to heal old wounds so that they don't control you and your future. So they don't control me and my future. And for many years, I didn't know that I was living life in the rear view mirror. That anytime something would happen or somebody would say something or somebody would do something, and I would respond, or I should say react in an unhealthy way, whether it be by getting angry or being defensive or shutting down and removing myself from the situation and more being escaping. I didn't realize that throughout my life I was so fearful of people getting too close to me or me getting too close to them, because all of us, how many of us have traumas of things that have happened to us, especially when we're younger, that we couldn't control? We live in a world where there are some amazing people, and then there's some people that are also responding from their wounds, and sometimes we get caught in the process. And so how many of us have wounds of people that have hurt us? I know I've had a lot of wounds in the past where people that were family members, or I should say friends of the family, just created chaos at a young age, all the way from also having some life and death experiences growing up where our entire family almost got taken out in New York for some circumstances that happened there. And I won't go into the details, but I didn't realize how those emotionally high triggering traumatic experiences created me not having lacking patience and wanting to rush through things and being distant from people. Even though I liked people and I cared about people, I wouldn't let anybody too close because I was fearful of getting hurt. And I didn't know that at my older age, that would actually affect my relationships. It would affect what the decisions that I would make. It would affect me wanting certainty versus being too fearful of certainty, and would keep me in my comfort zone. And until I realized that my past doesn't equal my future, that one shift in life, that my past doesn't equal my future unless I live there. And I didn't realize I was living in the past because of the reaction that I would have to some of the old past traumas of being hurt in my first ever relationship where my girlfriend cheated on me, and then I somehow unconsciously made a decision that that's never going to happen again. And so I would never build in-depth relationships, and I'd go from one relationship to the other, protecting my heart, not knowing that I can actually heal that side of me. And then getting into the business world, and realizing that in business, sometimes there are sharks out there that say and do things that can create a lot of chaos in your life. And I didn't realize then the lack of trust that I had in people started to come up, and then I would react, and I would do one of two things. I would just completely cut that person off, or go off on them and tell them, yeah, tear them a piece of my page, or I would completely cut them out of my life and never talk to them again, not knowing that there were some lessons there that we could both learn. And so healing the past traumas and learning how to do that your past doesn't equal your future, and the fact that we can create and change the meanings to things that have happened to us in life, because nothing in life has meaning until we attach a meaning. And when I realized that I can go back in time and change the meaning to any of those experiences, so instead of disempowering me and me reacting to life, that I could flow with life, and I can actually use those examples to learn some lessons and then help other people that might be going through some of those things as well. And now amplifying that and making the world a better place where I can actually have healing and have better thoughts, better emotions, which help me to have better actions. And not that any of us are perfect, and I'm not perfect, but when I started learning how to heal, which is why in our Warriors and Queens community, that's part of a big part of relationships, is identifying where are some of the past traumas that are coming up in your relationship today. And once I started doing that, I started removing some of those masks, and I was able to step more into my greatness. And so that's lesson number one. Lesson number one is to let go of the past and heal old wounds that don't control your future. That was number one. Number two life lesson that has helped me along this journey of life. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you. And thank you for the beautiful post, my beloved. Love you so much. And Millie Mills, good to see you as well. Thank you for tuning in. I see my beautiful wife. It's funny, you just commented, because I'm going to number two. Number two life lesson. If you want to live life at the peak, if you want to have an unbelievable life experience, and right now I'm talking to my guys, but also women too, but specifically the guys out there. Number two life lesson is marry the right one. Marry the right one. You know, I have a lot of people that I've seen over the years that marry in a contract type of relationship. And in that contract type of relationship, a lot of times it's not necessarily somebody that uplifts you, that encourages you. It's more of a barter type of relationship, that they get into a relationship because if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. And I've seen so many amazing people that have so much talent, both men and women, that never really experience their full potential because there's so much dealing with what happens behind closed doors in their relationship, where there's emasculation, there's objectification, there's cutting each other off, there's the ignoring, there's the bringing out the worst in each other, where it leads to anger and frustration. And too many couples end up seeing each other as enemies versus partners. And when that happens, then we tend to chop each other down. We tend to bring out the worst in each other. And one of the things I've been so blessed with, and we've had our ups and downs, but one of the things I've been so blessed with, God has blessed me with marrying the right one. And what I mean by the right one is, yes, she's beautiful on the outside. I've always been attracted to her, absolutely gorgeous, but she's also beautiful on the inside. She has brains, she has beauty, and the biggest part is she has an incredible heart. And she's always inspired me to be a better man. Even when I was unlovable, she found a way to love me. She found a way to encourage me. She found a way to oftentimes believe in me and give me words of encouragement, even when I didn't believe in myself. And so when you marry the right one, you marry a person that actually helps you to be the best version of yourself, that believes in you, that encourages you. Even when you have times where you're energy poor and maybe you don't think that you deserve the abundance that God has for you. Even when there's argument and there's tension, that you remind yourselves that, or she reminds you and you remind her that you're not each other's enemy. There's already enough of enemies out there in the real world, that behind closed doors, that you learn to forgive, you learn to move on, and you learn to turn some of those tough situations. We've had many tough situations. In all honesty, I look back and a part of me is shocked and surprised that this November 26th, that we're going to be celebrating 25 years of marriage. That'll be half of how long I've been alive. And during those tough times, there was a couple of times where we almost called it quits. But it was in those tough times that we really dug deep and we found out who we were as human beings and who we can be as a couple. And not only have we made massive impact, we truly believe, by helping other couples to inspire them on what's possible, but we've built big businesses. We've opened up 2 orphanages in Ecuador. We've made a difference, and we did it together. It's not me or her. It's not I'm better than her or she's better than me. It's we each bring something special to the table, and we honor, we love, and we respect each other. So lesson number 2, marry the right one. Don't get into a relationship because you feel you have to get married. Don't get into a relationship because you feel like it's just because of lust. There's got to be that combination of soul and love and honesty and respect so that you can give that inspired devotion to your queen. Thank you, Wendell. I appreciate you jumping on, brother. Appreciate you so much. So that's lesson number 2, marry the right one. And the third lesson in my 50 years of life that has impacted me in a big way is, so let me just go back to lesson number 1, is to let go of the past and heal old wounds so that it doesn't affect your present and your future. Number 2 lesson is marry the right one. And number 3 is to pay attention when God is closing doors and make the tough decisions in understanding the seasons of life. And back in 2020, in fact, 2017, God showed us that there was some doors. There was a door that was being closed in a business that we helped build for over a decade. And in the business cycle of life, there are seasons, just like there are seasons in life, there are seasons in business as well. And even though that chapter was closing and a part of us knew that we were so emotionally tied to that business and what we had built, that we had blinded ourselves with emotion to force what was already being closed. And in the business of life cycles, there are businesses that are thriving, and then there are businesses that end up going and starting to wind down and end up going more into the convalescent home and then in triage. And in 2017, our business was in triage, but we didn't want to believe it. We didn't want to see that doors closing, so we used our willpower and everything that we had to force the business to keep going. And in that process, we did succeed. We won the battle, but we lost the war, because little did we know that God had different plans. And had we anticipated, had we taken our emotions out of it and looked at what was really happening and looked at where the business cycle was, and we were to tune in and pay attention to God Almighty and the man upstairs, had we really paid attention, we would have seen the writing on the wall and we would have been able to anticipate. But instead, we forced, and by 2020, because we stayed, it created a lot more chaos in our life, a lot more financial challenges in our life. And even though we learned some great lessons, like the lesson that I'm learning here, I'm sharing with you today, that we're going to take with us, and it has made us better and it has made us stronger, because now we are rebuilding, but that lesson we'll never forget. And so pay attention to the life cycle. Life cycles in your relationship, life cycles in your health, life cycles in your finances, life cycles in your career and in your business, and be honest of where it is so that you can make the best decisions for you and your family. Thank you, Pat. I see you. Thank you, David. I appreciate you as well. The Galvans, love you guys. So those are just a few lessons that I've learned, 3 lessons that I've learned in my 50 years. I'd love to know, what are some of the lessons that you've learned in life? Some of the hard lessons maybe that you learned the hard way, and maybe some of the lessons that you've learned in a great, graceful way. But again, I just wanted to come on here for a few minutes on my birthday, November 4th, 2024, 50 years on the planet. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus, for all the blessings and all the lessons. Really appreciate you guys. Love you, and make it a great rest of your day.